Good morning. All right, the September. Okay. The September meeting of the Punta Gorda Code Enforcement Board is called to order. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Good morning, Deputy City Clerk Jennifer Faulkner for the record. We'll just go left to right. Robert Engelhardt.
Here.
Joseph Como.
Here.
Adele Higgins.
Here.
Carl Rich.
Here.
Keith Johnson.
Present.
And Ronald Mouchon.
Present.
Thank you.
All right, our next meeting is October 21st, 2025, here at the Lashley Community Room, and I'd like everyone to note that that is a Tuesday. Our normal day is Wednesday, but that happens to be a Tuesday. And I'd ask everyone please to silence their cell phones. Has the board had an opportunity to review the minutes of the prior meeting?
Yes.
Yes. All right, I'll entertain a motion regarding approval of minutes.
Musha makes that motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Any opposition? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? The motion carries. The minutes of the August 29, 2025 meeting are approved. And would the clerk swear in potential witnesses, please?
All right. Anyone intending to provide testimony in today's proceedings, please stand and raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in today's proceedings? Okay. So when you do come up to the podium, please make sure that you state your name for the record and indicate that you have been sworn. Thank you.
All right, the first item for business is hearing case number 25-88573, repeat violation. Code Compliance Officer Frank Coppinger, respondents 24/7 Automotive Performance LLC, care of Christopher Chase, address of violation 415 Cooper Street, alleged violation chapter 26, section 8.10, multiple axle trailer. Is the respondent present? Is the respondent present? All right, the respondent not being present, I will enter a plea of not guilty on behalf of the respondent.
He's here. He's here.
He's here? Aye. Thank you so much for identifying yourself. All right. How do you plead to this allegation?
I need to step up to the podium. Not guilty.
All right. Thank you. All right. We'll hear from you in a moment.
Oh, sure.
Thank you. And you have been sworn, yes, sir?
I have.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Coppinger.
Frank Coppinger, Code Compliance Officer for the City of Punta Gorda, and I've been sworn. Case number 24-86858 was brought for hearing before the City of Punta Gorda Code Enforcement Board on May 28, 2025, at which time the board heard testimony, received evidence, and entered its compliance order, which required the respondents to have the multiple axle trailers removed from the property and to pay case costs incurred in the amount of $26.47 within 30 days of the receipt of the order, and to cease and desist from any future violation of Punta Gorda Code, Chapter 26, Section 8.5, B Bravo 2, F Foxtrot, Chapter 26, Section 8.10, and Chapter 9, Section 9-2A Alpha. The property was brought into compliance on July 7, 2025. On August 6, 2025, I inspected the property at 415 Cooper Street and found that a multiple axle or 2 rear wheels per side trailer was being parked and or stored on the property, and that there was also more than 2 trailers being parked and or stored on the property, which is a repeat violation of Punta Gorda Code, Chapter 26, Section 8.10. On August 13th, 2025, an affidavit of repeat violation and notice of mandatory hearing was mailed to the respondents via certified mail. Return receipt, which was returned undelivered on August 17th, 2025. On August 20th, 2025, I posted said affidavit of repeat violation and notice of mandatory hearing on the property and at the City Hall Annex. On September 22nd, 2025, I re-inspected the property and found that the property was in compliance. The property has been in violation of the compliance order for 47 days of non-compliance from August 6, 2025 to September 22nd, 2025. I am submitting 36 photos for the record. The pictures submitted for evidence are a true and accurate representation of the condition of the site at the time the pictures were taken. I am submitting an invoice for case cost incurred in the amount of $16.86.
Thank you. Sir? So, does the board have any questions for Officer Coffinger?
The only thing, I missed the day that you said that they were in compliance.
September 22nd.
22nd?
Yes, Monday.
That they were in compliance.
Correct.
All right, so what I think I'm hearing is that the time period for which the property was not in compliance is from October 6th to September 22nd? Is that correct?
August 6th.
I'm sorry, August 6th.
August 6th to September
To
22nd.
September 22nd. And in that time frame, how many inspections were made?
I have pictures. I know I took of 5 straight days starting on August 5th through August 8th, I believe.
Okay.
I took several days, I believe 5 consecutive days. I took pictures for the inspection of the multiple axle trailer being on property because I just didn't want to do one day, driving by. So I did consecutive days.
Okay.
And the issue is the fact that it's there, or, I mean, somebody can, this is a question, not a statement. I'm assuming that somebody can just pull up to their property if they're going to load or unload.
Correct, and that's why I went multiple days. And then if you look at the pictures, it was in the same exact location for several days.
Okay.
That's why I went multiple days, that it wasn't just a temporary that he was using, or the respondents were using it as for something at that time. I went back multiple days and took multiple pictures of the location and the time.
And how many times has this been in front of the board? Do you know? I don't remember.
Total, I don't know. This is the second time that I've presented it to the board.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. And sir, could you please
4 total, I'm sorry.
state
4,
your name for the record?
4 times total.
My name is Christopher Chase. I'm the owner of the Smokehouse property,
Thank you, Mr.
purchased
Chair.
in 2020.
Okay, do you have any questions for Mr. Coffinger?
Not at this time.
Okay, would you like to make a statement?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, the
Certainly.
floor is yours.
Let me give you this. This is a copy of what I've already given the state attorney, the city attorney and everything. You guys may want to read this while I'm talking to you guys. Now, I've owned this property since 2020, and I was actually able to be there 24 hours a day about 9 months later because I was moving 2,200 miles back to Florida from New Mexico, where my wife passed away. So I've actually been harassed and by you guys, not you personally, of course, since 2020. So this is not the first violation that you guys have. Now, historically speaking, the Davis family owned this since 1948, and if you saw the vehicles that they would have had on this property up until the point about 20 years ago, you guys would be having kittens. Semi-trailers with multiple axles, 3-axle semi-tractors, bulldozers that are as big as my truck. So historically speaking, the property has been used for commercial use, and it's still half commercial and half residential now, according to your zoning. Now, constitutionally speaking, I've got a due process clause that this protects my right to control my property, storing trailers, unless the government follows procedures and demonstrates a legitimate public interest. Okay, I haven't had any, this is only a nuisance to government. I have not been a nuisance to anybody else in the community, so I'm not, any of my neighbors, this is not a problem to them. This is only a problem to government itself. And when the issue is a problem to government itself, and it is not involved in helping the people in any way, then we have a kind of a tyrannical situation, don't you think? Anyhow, your objections, I have no harm, no nuisance, arbitrary enforcement align with this, and restriction last rational basis for procedural fairness. The CEB's restriction and trailer storage significantly impairs the use and or value of my property. I argue that taking regulatory action requiring just compensation, which fines, while the CEB's action may not rise to a full taking, I argue that this unduly restricts my property rights without compelling a public purpose. Under due process violations, Section 3 invokes the Fifth Amendment, but I strengthen this by explicitly referring taking clause to challenge the restrictions as an overreach on my property rights. The 14th Amendment to the Constitution of the United States, no state shall deprive any person of life, liberty, and property without due process of law, nor deny to any person without its jurisdiction the equal protection of the laws therein. The relevance to this case, similar to the Fifth Amendment, this protects my property rights against arbitrary state and local government actions, the city's code enforcement, state and local actions, the city code enforcement, and their arbitrary enforcement over the last 5 years is procedural irregularities, and they directly ties to this protection. I have equal protection concerns in Section 4, which invokes this clause, arguing that selective enforcement targeting your trailer while allowing others violates equal protection by treating me unfairly as to others. Now, I only spent about 30 to 40 minutes driving up Cooper Street from my property. This is only 30 to 40 minutes worth of examples of violations that have not been seen by your code enforcement. You guys would like to see these? These are other people's properties.
Can you mark those for the record?
Sure. There's at least 15 properties there with multiple trailers, multiple axle trailers that have been there longer than I have been here. I've only been here 5 years. Some of those vehicles have been growing out of the ground and have been there for probably 10 plus years. So I don't think anybody has bothered those people. Further, the Declaration of Independence, very interesting. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights. Among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Now, considering the pursuit of happiness, the founders, John Locke, influence is emphasizing life, liberty, and property. My ability to use my property for my business and or personal use could be framed as part of this pursuit, though maybe this is more philosophical than legal. The application, the declaration is not directly actionable in court. However, it is necessary that I cite this to you guys just to give you the idea that our founders of the Constitution figured that undue actions by government are, infringes on our rights. The Ninth Amendment to the U.S. Constitution, enumeration of the Constitution, gives me certain rights. This amendment protects the right to control one's property free from excessive government interference, which I've been harassed since 2005 or 2020. This is restricting trailer storage, which is not hurting anybody at all. I don't understand your zoning in any case for having a dual axle trailer, but I guess that's neither here nor there. Anyhow, I've been absent or of harm or nuisance, and it doesn't infringe on any other citizens' rights to their property, and doesn't explicitly protect anyone else. I don't know. Boy. Anyhow, the Florida Constitution also says that I have natural rights before the law, inalienable rights according to the Constitution, and it explicitly protects my rights to control and the use of property. Article 1, Section 9 mirrors the Constitution. Also, Article 1, Section 23 also mirrors the Constitution.
Mr. Chase, is there anything you want to say that's not in your written summation here?
No, that's already
Which, by
been...
the way, is excellent.
Well, it's already been given to the... I'm considering litigation. I understand that you guys have quite a few cases before you were ready. I figured, what the hell, I'll just add on to the pile.
Okay. Does anyone have, is there anything else you want to say before we ask you questions?
Well, I just, fortunately, I have the time right now. I don't have the money to be paying for all this, but, that's about it.
Okay, thank you. Any questions from the board?
Yeah. So when the board issued the previous cease and desist order, did you understand what it meant was allowed and was not allowed?
According to zoning, yes, I've gone over your zoning violations, but that trailer happened to have been there because I needed a special bearing, and I was waiting about 3 days to get the bearing, and it was gone within a week. So I understand that, any trailers that are there, causes you guys great undue harm because it, I don't know, it bothers you guys.
So the answer is you did understand?
I did understand that, but the trailer was there just so I could repair it. And it did have some trash that I was taking out of the building at the same time. You could see some garbage that was in it. So it was used for that purpose also. But I just don't, constitutionally speaking, I think your zoning laws are just not only unjust, but illegal. I think that the board should convene and think about changing the zoning, considering so many other people in the neighborhood happen to be in violation.
Robert Engelhardt, board member. Is this a business we're talking about or a private residence?
No, it's private. I'm not running a business out of there anymore. I do have a dumpster business, but I've got another piece of property where I store most of my stuff right now because of you guys here. I mean, it bothers you guys.
Great, thanks.
Okay, Mr. Chase, I don't know if this question is for you or for Mr. Coppinger, so I'll ask the question generally.
Okay.
Where you are located isn't it right on the border of the city of Punta Gorda and the county?
Exactly. The borderline to Charlotte County is actually in the middle of Cooper Street. So literally, if you walk 1 inch to the center line, you're in Charlotte County.
Okay, but you acknowledge that your property is within the city limits of Punta Gorda.
It is. It's actually in an interesting little spot with the hospital that's there, which is obviously commercial, and it's not in the Booth Street is the dividing line of the historic district, and then Cooper Street is that little section there is just regular city of Punta Gorda.
And to your knowledge, is your property in the historic district or not?
No, it's not.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Any more questions?
I have a question for Mr. Coppinger. What is that property zoned as currently?
As far as,
Rachel Berry, zoning official for the record. It's zoned neighborhood center.
I'm sorry?
Neighborhood center.
And what does that mean?
I have a list of the permitted uses. 1 second.
According to the county, it's mixed use. It's half commercial and half residential.
So the neighborhood center district, permitted uses include restaurants, conference centers, hospital and medical uses, bed and breakfast, single family and duplex dwellings, multifamily, civic uses, research and development, service organizations, indoor theaters, vocational and technical schools and centers, parks, recreation facilities, banks without drive-through, essential services 1 and 2, pharmacies, and medical marijuana treatment center dispensing facilities. And there's other uses permitted with conditions, which include residential, daycare, car wash, helistop, sidewalk cafes, parking structures, mixed-use buildings, hotel motel, group home, and mobile food dispensing vehicles on property with the permission of the property owner.
Sorry, say that again, those last two.
The last two under uses permitted with conditions. One is a group home. There's also permanent canopy shade structures associated with a recreational facility. And the final one is a mobile food dispensing vehicle, a food truck.
So he's indicating that the trailer was there for 7 days, and we're talking about 47 days?
correct. My initial inspection went for 5 days. I issued the offense, and then on that, it is upon the respondent to contact us when they'd come into compliance. He did not contact us till the 22nd on Monday, when I went back out and re-inspected and found that the trailer was removed.
Has there been any previous fines to this location?
Fines?
Nick Faulkner, code supervisor. I've been sworn. Let me check some records. I believe just case costs and all those have been paid.
Okay, and so, just so I understand, the photographs that you submitted go from August 6th through August 11th, correct?
Correct.
Okay, and then from August 11th until September 22nd, your position is because Mr. Chase did not contact you, he is out of compliance. Is that your position?
Correct. I have no idea when he took that trailer off the property.
All right, thank you.
I actually called in. I think he was on vacation, and they said he was going to be back. And it might have been the weekend. It might have been a Friday, and he was on vacation. I think during the weekend or whatever. Maybe you can recollect the time you were not there. But I did call in and talk to the lady in the in his office. So I didn't make any notes about who I talked to. Sorry.
And Mr. Chase, just for the record, the order that the board issued in May of this year, you did not appeal that order, correct? I mean judicially.
No, I haven't appealed. I've actually been very patient, and as you can see with that document there, I've spent the last couple of months doing some research and everything, and considering litigation at this point.
All right, thank you. Is there anything further?
And just for my clarity, as of right now, the property is in compliance.
For this violation.
Yes.
There are other violations that I'm aware of that.
I'm talking specifically
for this. Yes, for this.
Specifically about this.
Specifically for this, yes, it is in compliance.
I'll call for a vote. Or a motion.
I do have a question.
Okay.
A follow-up to my last one. According to what I'm reading here, the violation is attributed to a business, automotive performance, not to a residence. So I'm a little confused. Is it a
sir,
business or a residence?
I talked to my attorney at the time, and I had the property in my name, and he said for legal reasons, in case somebody got hurt on the property, that I should put it in a LLC. And I had my business from that I used in New Mexico, but it's a legal entity. It's a foreign entity in Florida. So I used it here to be able to what do you call it? I can't think about this. Anyhow, to put it underneath that name instead of my name personally. So there is no business there. You guys will not give me an occupational license to use that building there as a business. I can probably do something inside, but if I was to do anything outside or store anything outside, again, that would be in violation of your zoning rules, because I can't have an automotive business there, according to the new rules that you guys. I think in 2005 you validated this new zoning district.
Thank you.
Anything else?
Okay. So this goes back then to, you say, in 2025. Are you referring to the LDRs and the land use regulations, which is not zoning, but the actual land use regulations which denoted this as neighborhood center?
Yeah, unfortunately I wasn't here when that happened, and the Davises that owned the property since 1948 apparently were sleeping at the wheel in 2005 when all this got changed. They could have easily talked to you guys and said that to just grandfather them in as either heavy industrial or commercial total for the property, and then none of this would be a moot subject right now, because they'd still be able to use the property as they intended to use it and as they have been using it, with heavy equipment, earth moving equipment, and everything else that used to be there. You know, the Davis, like I said, the Davis family owned it. They have since moved their operations some 5 or 6 miles away towards the airport. They need a lot more room. A lot more room.
I'm ready.
Rich, I'd like to make a motion to find the respondent did have a repeat violation of compliance and order that a fine in the amount of $235 be imposed, representing a fine of $5 a day for 47 days of noncompliance from August 6th, 2025 to September 22nd, 2025, plus applicable interest of 8.9% annum, and it is further ordered that respondents are required to pay case costs incurred in the amount of $16.86. And the fine amount was selected at that low number because it appears that there was some attempt to communicate that the issue had been cleared, and that communication was not able to be completed for whatever reason, and that's why I chose that number.
Is there a second?
Interesting.
You know, I have an issue I want to talk about, and that's the length of time for which the property was out of compliance. We have,
Madam Chair, I'm so sorry to interrupt. I did not hear a second to that.
there was a second.
Raise
Mr.
your
Engelhardt
hand.
seconded.
Thank you. If you could just state that louder rather than just raising your hand, because that doesn't.
Will do.
Okay, here's my concern, okay? We have testimony from Mr. Coppinger that the property was out of compliance for 5 days. And we have proof, photographic proof. Between the 11th of August and September 22nd, what proof do we have of non-compliance? I don't believe that Mr. Chase conceded that the property was out of compliance during that entire time. And the burden should be on the city to establish non-compliance. Just because, and I guess I'm getting ready to hear from Mr. Lewis, just because there's no communication does not necessarily mean non-compliance, in my view, subject to Mr. Lewis's comments.
It's more, I'm just going to roll this back, Madam Chair. We never had a motion for prima facie case being made.
I didn't think we need one because it was a repeat violation.
I mean, there was still if it's a repeat, it means we're still.
Do we still need a prima facie case? I thought it was if there was a repeat violation, we don't need that.
Because it is a new case.
Is it a new case or is it going into a repeat violation?
The last one was resolved.
It's a repeat violation of a previous case.
Deputy City Clerk Jennifer Faulkner, for the record. It's my understanding that for repeat violations, there doesn't need to be a prima facie finding because that was established under the compliance order that was previously entered. But if, obviously, we'll defer to the attorney's recommendation, and if he'd like the board to make that, if the board finds that that's applicable, then I'm fine to take that down in the minutes.
Okay, in the event that a prima facie case is necessary, I'll entertain a motion.
Well, but your previous motion is withdrawn.
Your previous motion is withdrawn, all right.
Well, because we can't have two on the floor.
Okay, the previous motion is withdrawn, thank you. So let's discuss the prima facie case. Is there a motion? The city has established a prima facie case?
I'll make a motion that the city has established a prima facie case.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, there's been a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposition? All right, the motion carries. In the event that a prima facie case needs to be established, the board has found that the city has established a prima facie case.
And one last thing, I'll bug you, then I'll leave. Just to follow the procedure, even though the respondent made a statement, we would now transfer over to his portion of the case. So I would just request if there's any other further information he would want to put on the record, to put it on now.
I getcha.
Yes, and
All
then
right.
proceed forward with the previous
All right,
motions.
for both sides, is there any further information that the city would like to address, and the city would like to provide?
I have a question. When the respondent is notified that a violation exists, are they given instructions on how to communicate to the city when the respondent feels that the violation has been resolved?
Nick Faulkner, Code Compliance Supervisor, have been sworn. Each notice that we give out has our name, has our personal phone number, as well as the office main number, as well as our email address.
Okay, so we've heard that he communicated, it was maybe on a Friday, I think he said, hi, I want to let somebody know I've taken care of it. Is there a record made of that? I mean, how does he support, or how do we refute that happened? I mean, we're talking about how many days here.
I do.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I forgot to take notes about that stuff. I didn't.
No, I understand. I think that what I'm looking at is the burden should be on the city.
On the statement that was sent to him, that was returned, and also what was posted, so I don't have to read the whole thing.
Well, I would expect that it would be boilerplate information that goes to.
It states specifically on here that when they do come into compliance, it's their responsibility to contact us so that I do go back out and re-inspect the property.
Okay. So, what we heard under oath was that he contacted the city. Apparently nothing was recorded.
Does he have a certain date on when he contacted us?
I don't know. He was on. I think the very nice lady in the office said he was on vacation, or out of the office for sick on Thursday or Friday. So when I called, he couldn't answer the phone.
Okay.
And recognize that the previous motion I made was taken into account that there's discrepancy in the time frame. And so that's why the proposed fine is, I think, relatively small, because its time frames are significantly different.
Okay, understand. All right, Mr. Chase, is there anything else you'd like to add?
Just that I don't understand why there should be any fines at all, considering that, I mean, in 30 minutes I found so many other people that are in violation of your exact code violations haven't been bothered, and they've been there for years.
Yeah, Mr. Chase, I'll just note for the record that we have looked at those, and I do see those. To my knowledge, they have not been cited as code violations, although I would hope that that now that these are on the record, in the event that these properties are within the city limits, that the city would take action to at least inspect.
Ms. Higgins, just to clarify that, I don't know what pictures they are.
course.
Number one, Cooper Street, half of it is not in the city limits with the thing. And
Yes.
as far as other dual axle trailers, I have a list of, in my short time here, that I've opened up over 30 cases specifically for dual axle trailers in the 6 months that I've been an officer here. So it is an issue within the town that we are taking throughout.
Okay, so what I'm hearing then is that this is an issue of concern that the staff is working on. And not just Mr. Chase's property,
No, like
but
I
other
said,
properties.
I have 30 other cases that myself, just me personally, that I've opened for dual axle trailers on
Okay.
a property.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I believe that that requirement might change because of the use of overlay districts. Depending upon where you are, the rules might be different upon what, concerning what you may have in your yard.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, is there, I'll call for a motion if there's no more discussion.
I'll repeat the motion.
All right,
Again, Rich, motion to find the respondent did have a repeat violation of compliance order. An order the fine in the amount of $235 be imposed, representing a fine of $5 per day for 47 days of noncompliance from August 6, 2025 to September 22nd, 2025, plus applicable interest of 8.9% per annum. It is further ordered the respondents are required to pay case costs incurred in the amount of $16.86.
is there a second?
Second, Como.
Any discussion?
Yes.
Okay.
So we're okay with the 47 days. We feel that
Right now, my personal opinion is there's no way for us to balance, okay, I did, we didn't get it, I don't know. So I specifically made the fine very small per day
Okay.
to account for that discrepancy.
Okay.
So I'm not trying to convince you one way or the other, that's just why
I
that
understand.
number of $5 per day was used.
I think that we should take this as an opportunity for the city to consider multiple ways for respondents to notify the city. Telephone call, nobody answers, maybe an email, some alternative way of doing business.
Yeah. And I was getting ready to say that I am not convinced that it's 47 days. I mean, Mr. Chase's testimony is that he called to tell them it was in compliance, but that message did not get acted upon for whatever reason. So we really don't know. And I appreciate Mr. Rich's motion that it would be that $5 a day for 47 days. I would propose, what do we do after there's a motion in a second?
Well, you vote, and if people don't want that particular motion, they can say no after the discussion.
Got it, okay. Mr. Lewis.
Just procedural. You can either move to amend the motion, or you can let the original motion go to a vote.
Okay.
It's either way.
Whatever, okay. Well, from my perspective, I would vote no, because I think that there's insufficient proof of 47 days. And if the motion fails, I'll propose an alternative motion. So, yes, more questions?
Okay, comment. Yes, seems to be a procedural issue. We got into something similar to this at our last meeting over what date fines were effective. There seems to be a gap in the internal procedures as to how to figure some of these days and how to document those days, as Mr. Engelhardt was pointing out. Now, that being said, Mr. Chase had the option of, if he didn't get an answer on Friday, try again on Monday. Something in that interim puts the onus back on the property owner again. The other thought is that this is a repeat violation, so it's not like this is the first time we've seen Mr. Chase. So, you know, I kind of agree with Mr. Rich that, you know, okay, minimize it, giving him the benefit of the doubt, and hopefully this will be the last time we see this property. Just my
Okay.
thoughts.
All right, so we have a motion and a second, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'll call for a vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
How many ayes? And opposed, nay? All right, the motion carries. By a vote of 5-1, the board has found that Mr. Chase, the respondent, has a repeat violation of the compliance order and orders a fine in the amount of $235 be imposed, representing a fine of $5 per day for 47 days of non-compliance from August 6th to September 22nd, plus the applicable interest at 8.90% per annum, and further order that he be required to pay case costs incurred in the amount of $16.86. And for the record, I also wish to note that Mr. Chase submitted a written opposition, which I have looked at and considered. Most of what he was in the written opposition, if not all, he did say orally, and he also submitted photos. And Mr. Chase, I'm sure you're aware that you have the opportunity to appeal. I do appreciate your coming today, and I
can appeal this here?
There is a process, not to us.
Okay.
There is a process. I recommend that you consult your attorney.
30 days.
Okay.
Okay? And I appreciate your consideration.
Madam Chair, one
Yes.
thought, that this should probably be given to the clerk
Absolutely.
for
Yep.
inclusion.
It's part of the record. Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, a certified copy was given to the city attorney, the
Okay.
city manager, and Mr. Copinger.
Very good.
Also, I hand-delivered a copy.
Excellent. I appreciate that very much. A lot of lawyers wouldn't have done as well. Thank you, Mr. Chase.
So I guess I reserve the right to see you guys in court over the zoning issues. All right.
The zoning-
Thanks.
Okay, thank you. All right, thank you all. All right, the next item is for hearing in case number 25-88611, Code Compliance Supervisor Nick Falter and PGPD Officer T. Vetri. Respondents 1H6 Property Florida LP, responsible party Randy Diaz Cantillo and Zuzelle Zayas Mendez. Address of violation 7300 Power Puff. Alleged section violated, chapter 6.6A, section 6A-1.6 Alpha and Bravo, illicit discharge. Are the respondents present? Yes? Could you please identify yourself by name for the record?
I'm Neily Sotolongo with Human Resources. I'm the translator.
Thank you.
I don't think she's been sworn.
This translator has not been sworn.
You have been?
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, my name is Susel Sayas, and he is Randy Diaz.
Randy Diaz.
All right, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
And what's your plea? Do you plead guilty or not guilty to this?
No, guilty.
Not guilty. All right, thank you. First, we will hear from Mr. Faulkner and the officer on behalf of the city, and then you'll have the opportunity to question them, and then you'll have the opportunity to speak. Okay, thank you.
Sí, para la hora de hablar.
All right, Mr. Faulkner, or Officer Vetri.
All right. Morning, Officer Vetri, Pondor Police Department. I have been sworn in. Okay. I'm reading from my narrative on my report.
All right.
On August 2nd, 2025, at approximately 10:39 hours, I responded to 7300 Power Puff for a suspicious incident in reference to someone pouring oil down a storm drain. I made contact with the caller. She showed me a picture of what appeared to be a black oil drip pan that was tilted on top of the storm grate. The storm drain was located by the street between 7300 and 7305 Powder Puff. I walked over to the storm drain and did not see a drip pan at that time. I did observe a black liquid on top of the storm drain. Liquid appeared to be consistent with what may have been oil changed from a vehicle. I took photographs of the oil, uploaded to evidence.com. There was a liquid at the bottom of the storm drain, however, I wasn't able to determine if it was oil or water.
Mr. Vetri, let me stop you.
Sorry.
I think we may need to go a little slower so that we can translate.
Sorry.
We understand
You
the
okay?
problem with all this for talked. We
Okay.
learn English, so I'm
Okay.
apology for that.
No, that's no problem. So just so we know, you understand what's being said, but you may need assistance when you speak.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
The
Go ahead.
picture depicted on the screen right there is after I verified that it was suspected to be oil. Maybe we'll go back to the drip pan.
That's a picture before trying to verify if it was oil. Prior picture. You don't have it?
With the drip pan.
For the drip pan? Okay. If you'll excuse me, I have a flash drive that contains further photographs. One was the initial picture that I received of the oil pan being placed on its side.
Is this what you received from the homeowner, the complainant?
That's correct. Yeah. It will be one of those two images. You'll have to zoom in. What you see right there is what appears to be an oil drip pan that's tilted on its side in between 7300 and 7305 powder puff. All right. After I made contact with the residents at 7300 Powder Puff, I apologize if I say your names wrong, Zuzel Zayas Mendez and Randy Diaz Cantillo. I asked Zayas Mendez, the female standing right there, who was pouring oil down the storm drain. She replied, "I poured a little bit." She then said, "I can't do it," asking a question. She did advise that it was mostly water in there and she was trying to rinse out the drip pan. While I was continuing to speak with her and Mr. Diaz Cantillo, they both claimed that the oil was from a lawnmower after they changed it. Both of them claimed, Both of them claimed that they did not know they were allowed to do it. They showed me the drip pan and it appeared to be consistent with the drip pan in that photo. I asked them again who poured the oil down the storm drain, and Diaz Cantillo said it was him. I provided them with the report number and informed them that they are not allowed to pour oil down the storm drain. I do it. I'm sorry. There is body camera footage of the interaction with Mr. Diaz Cantillo and Zayas Mendez.
Mr. Faulkner, anything to add?
Yeah, Nick Faulkner, Code Compliance Supervisor for the City of Punta Gorda, and I have been sworn. According to the Charlotte County Property Appraiser's records, the property located at 7300 Powder Puff is within the city limits of the City of Punta Gorda, Florida, and the property is owned by the respondents. The city is submitting 3 photos for the record. The pictures submitted for evidence are a true and accurate representation of the site at the time the pictures were taken. On August 11th, 2025, I received an internal complaint from the Punta Gorda Police Department in which Officer Thomas Vitry found that the responsible party illicitly discharged oil directly into the storm drain located on the city right-of-way near the front yard of the property, which is a violation of the Punta Gorda Code, Chapter 6A, Section 6A-1.6 A and B. This is an irreversible or irreparable violation of the Punta Gorda Code, Chapter 6A, Section 6A-1.6 AB. On August 14th, 2025, pursuant to the Punta Gorda Code, Chapter 9A, Section 9A-6D, and Chapter 9A, Section 9A-8F, and Florida Statutes, Title 11, Chapter 162, Section 162.06, paren 4, 162.09, paren 1, and 162.09, parentheses 2 and A. The respondents and responsible party were given notice of the irreversible and irreparable violations of the Punta Gorda Code, Chapter 6A, Section 6A-1.6 A and B. On August 14th, 2025, a statement of irreversible and irreparable violations and notice of penalty hearing was mailed to the respondents and responsible party via certified return receipt mail, which was received by the respondents on August 20th, 2025, and received by the responsible party on August 16th, 2025, submitting an invoice in the amount of $20.88 for case costs incurred.
Are there any questions for the officer? from
No
the
ha
board?
cobrado nada.
Or from
Es decir, no sabemos. Nosotros no
Do you have
sabíamos.
any questions for the officer or Mr. Faulkner at this time?
¿Tienes
Before you
pregunta
make a
para el
statement.
oficial o Mr.
¿Qué le
Faulkner?
podemos preguntar?
No le puedo preguntar nada, que cuando él fue le dije que eso era agua.
We tried to explain to, tratábamos de explicarle al policía quizás por el inglés o la limitación del inglés no nos entendió bien, que eso no era oil, que no habíamos hecho ningún cambio de aceite.
Solamente estaba
Tratábamos de
limpiando la máquina
explicarle
de
y
podar
enseñándole.
el césped. Yo le enseñé a
Le
él.
enseñamos eso, eso que él tenía puesto ahí. Realmente lo que tenía era agua y era sucio. No sabemos si eso realmente que estaba ahí era oil y no sabemos si lo echamos nosotros. Pero no habíamos hecho cambio de aceite. Y,
So they are explaining to me that they explained to the officer that what was in that container was water and dirt from them cleaning the lawnmower. They did not put oil down the drain, and they don't know if that oil was already there before they put the water, the dirty water in there.
De hecho, solo él puso eso así para que se escurriera del agua. Y cuando el policía fue, le enseñamos eso de que no había rastro de oil ahí. Incluso cuando le echas agua al oil, siempre se queda eso en la cantina, como que se ve que tenía oil. Y le enseñamos al policía en el momento que fue que no tenía rastros de oil, es decir, era agua con sucio.
Okay, so she explained to the officer that, and showed the officer that what was in there was water, and had him look inside to show him that there was no oil inside.
Inside the what? The
Pero-
drain or the pan?
The pan.
Inside, ajá. Y lo que sí queríamos disculparnos porque no sabíamos que agua o cualquier cosa, es decir, no teníamos como cuidado para con esto, pero realmente no sabíamos que, ¿sabe? Como dijo el policía, yo le dije, no sabía que ahí no se podía echar agua ni nada.
They want to apologize for putting the water down the drain. They did not know that they could not put water down the drain.
Okay. Thank you. Do you have any questions for either the officer or Mr. Faulkner?
¿Tienes preguntas para ellos, para el oficial o para Mr. Faulkner?
No.
Okay. Does the board have any questions for the officer or Mr. Faulkner?
I do. Where does the storm drain go? Does it go to the canals?
Nick Faulkner, Code Supervisor, I've been sworn. This is in Burnt Store Meadows, so it goes to a channel behind the houses where there's a green belt.
¿Qué?
So is there any visible oil
¿Para dónde va eso?
at the discharge of the
Okay.
drain to the water
¿A dónde sale esa
location?
agua?
¿Y a dónde sale?
There's no canals out in Burnt Store Meadows.
So,
Oh, sí.
okay, so it's
So it's all
a
on the
storm drain?
Yes.
Atrás hay unos pozos grandes en toda la casa.
So there was no way to
Pues,
verify the quantity, I guess is what I'm
Cuando
wondering,
llega el
what the
huracán se
quantity
llena
of oil
y
might have
evita
been.
que se inunda.
Officer Vetri, if I may refer my notes again, I wasn't able to determine how much was poured down the storm drain due to being the depth of the storm drain.
No sabe cuánta cantidad será.
I have a question for the officer. Did you examine the
Container?
container? Yeah. Was there oil residue in there?
I made contact with Zayas Mendez and Mr. Cantillo, and they did have a drip pan in there that was consistent with being used to change oils. I do have body camera footage of the interaction.
Great, thank you.
Es que el pozo
Madam
es
Chairman,
cambiar las
to the officer, that picture we're looking at now, where was that taken from? Where was that oil sample taken from?
That was the storm drain in between 7305 and 7300 Powder Puff. That is my finger touching what appears to be oil.
From the grate itself or from the pan?
From the top of the grate, sir. This was before I made an interaction with Mrs. Zayas Mendez and Mr. Diaz Cantillo.
Pero no había oil en la... ¿Cómo se
She
dice?
says, but there was no oil in the pan.
It's just water, sucia, dirty
And
water.
dirt, dirty water.
Dirty water.
Was the only thing in the pan.
We don't, no hicimos cambio de aceite.
They didn't do an oil change at that time.
Eso se usa para cambio de aceite, pero no habíamos hecho cambio de aceite.
The pan is used for oil changes, but they did not use it for an oil change at that
Y
moment.
porque sabemos además que el aceite viejo se echa en los
¿Cómo se lo lleva a la
pomos
basura reciclada?
y lo llevamos a Autopar a la basura reciclada.
They actually know that when they do an oil change, you put them in the containers where the oil came from and you take it to the recycle. They're aware of that and they do that.
I have a question, Madam Chairman, to the respondent. If the officer brought oil from the grate and they're dumping water down there, how did that oil get on that grate, I guess is my question.
¿Qué dice?
Si él sacó aceite de pedazo de metal y ustedes echaron agua, ¿de dónde salió el aceite que está
Nosotros no
arriba?
vivimos solo en esa cuadra. Ahí ven más
No
casas, hay
sabemos.
más.
He says that they're not the only ones that live in
Ahí
that
ven
block,
también que
other
hay unas
people live
maderas
there
ahí
as well.
adentro.
Mira, adentro hay madera.
madera que yo no eché
Nosotros no
madera.
echamos madera.
Ese
He
yo
says
no he hecho
inside
cosas.
there's pieces of wood that they did not put down that drain. Someone else also uses those drains.
Y teniendo en cuenta que tenemos unos vecinos que en vez de decir no eches eso ahí o ahí no se puede o avisarte, pues te llaman a la policía, pues cabe después que puedan haberlo echado ellos para decir algo como eso.
They have neighbors that instead of telling them not to do it, they actually call the cops on them and report them.
Or maybe he
And
do it.
they're probably the ones that did it. This is what she said.
Porque creo yo que un buen vecino te ve haciendo algo que piensa que es oil y pues vendría a avisarte o un warning o
Voy a
something
tirar
like
fotos
that.
escondidos y
Ajá, y entonces nos tiran fotos sin saber.
A good neighbor would let them know that that's not permittable and you don't do that kind of stuff.
I have a
Maybe
question for them. Have they used that container for oil changes previously?
Usaron la cosa negra para cambios de aceite
No.
antes de eso.
Anteriormente. Es
es que yo
decir,
tengo otro, que es el que yo uso para hacer los cambios de aceite, pero
got
eso, no, eso yo lo
multiples.
cojo para limpiar, no para...
And that one he only uses to clean, not to do oil changes.
oh, ese es pequeño.
es pequeño,
Es pequeño. El que él usa para cambios de aceite es una
sí.
parte
Grande
más
con
grande.
tapa, con todo.
That container is small and they use a big one to do oil changes. And that's the small one that they only use to clean.
All right, is there anything else from the board?
I'd like to see the previous picture of the pan in place that someone had taken. Same spot.
Ese es el vecino de al lado.
Pero puede ser la señora que viene, se puso otra vez.
That's right, where the
Officer Vetri, is that what you saw, or did you or someone else put that pan up?
One of the neighbors sent me a picture on evidence.com of that
Okay.
picture. When I got there, that drip pan was not there.
Okay, thank you. All right.
Okay, so you had no opportunity to examine that pan for any residual oil around it or anything else?
I eventually made contact with them in their garage, and they admitted to mixing what's mostly water in the drip pan to rinse it out and pour it down the storm drain.
Yeah, but if you mix just water over motor oil, you're still going to have something residual unless you take a rag and wipe it out. Could you see anything like that, or or any evidence of something like that?
I don't recall.
Pero no había
But you did inspect the pan?
I don't recall if I actually looked in the pan or not.
Officer John Ross, on behalf of the city. Did you observe the pan on your property, though?
I'm sorry, who is this?
I'm interim city attorney. I work with Steve.
Yes, I did. If I recall, Mr. Diaz Cantillo brought out the drip pan.
Anything further?
I just have one follow-up to that. Did the drip pan match the description or the picture of that drip pan?
The drip pan was consistent with an oil drip pan, yes.
Okay. That can be.
Dice que tenía oil.
All right, I have a question. This is maybe for the attorney. Obviously, it's a violation to pour oil down the storm drains. Is it a violation to pour water down the storm drains, or residue from cleaning down the storm drains?
I would have to defer to code enforcement or
Nick Faulkner, Code Supervisor, I've been sworn. So if we recommend, and it's in our codes, like people draining pools, did not pour water directly into storm drains, let it filter through the grass first.
But what's the code say? Does it say you can't do that?
Not to my knowledge.
So you could wash your car, you clean out the underbody and everything else in your driveway, and it just go down the storm drain.
We clean the car there. Y el agua va a parar allí, el agua sucia. ¿Le puedes decir?
Sí, eso es lo que le está diciendo, que sí es ilegal botar el agua por el tren.
Y posiblemente el agua tenga residuos de aceite, el agua que lavas el carro.
Rachel Berry, zoning official for the record, and I have been sworn. The code does prohibit illicit discharge into storm drains, and so that would include anything with chemicals, oils. If people are washing their cars and it runs down into the drain, typically we're not going to go out and cite that. But if someone is directly, washing their car and pouring it into the storm drain, then we would at that point.
So I can read you verbatim what the code states that they're being cited for.
That would be lovely.
So again, it's chapter 6A, section 6A.16, or get this right. It's under prohibited discharges. Paren B states specific prohibitions. Any discharge to the separate storm drain system containing any sewage, industrial waste, or any other waste materials, or containing any materials that cause or contribute to violation of federal, state, city, or other laws, rules, regulations, orders, or permits, or which cause or contribute to a violation of state water quality standards contained in Chapter 62, Florida Administrative Code, in the MS4 or waters of the United States is prohibited.
All right.
And at this time, we would like to submit video evidence of the body cam interaction between the officers and the responsible party.
Dios, ahora voy a salir yo hablando.
It should be the first one.
Inglés.
Oh, that's okay.
My gosh.
Do you want the interaction with the neighbor? We can do that too. Just to let you know, the first minute of the body camera footage is buffer time, so there's going to be no audio, it's just visual.
Which neighbor? Okay.
That's really bad, isn't it?
I'm going to try and check it out, so I'll go talk to her. What's your name? Allie? Okay. I go through time. We're happy about that.
¿Qué le digo?
¿Quién?
Ella, él.
Sierra Alpha, Anita 77, 206, Black BMW. You can just run your RO, drop in the notes.
Is the volume okay for everybody?
Mira, eso es agua. It's water. Sí, esta. Y eso que estaba ahí era agua, ¿no? Y era ahí donde estaba la palangana, según la foto.
How you doing? Yeah, who's pouring oil down the drain?
Oh yeah, I poured a little bit.
You poured a little bit?
I can do it?
No.
Oh, just right there.
Fue a explicar que no. Es que yo estaba adentro.
Ella no estaba ahí.
Just go here, ¿lo silencio? license, ID, identification?
Yeah, we have it, but why?
Why? Because you can't pour oil down the storm drain.
But no oil.
This is oil.
Yeah, it's not oil, it's only wash.
Well, I was about to say, we can't determine it now because it's all down the drain. I mean, you can see the oil residue on top of the drain.
We didn't know I can do that.
You didn't know you can do that? Okay.
Sorry, no. We don't know. Just watch that here.
That's okay.
You wanna wipe it?
That's fine.
La manguera del agua, esa es la máquina que estaba
Mira la manguera, mira.
Approximately how much oil was there?
It's no oil. Just wash the.
So it's water mixed with oil? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, but no. Yeah, you can go for the.
Okay.
It's not oil. It's little thing.
Okay.
With water, wash the things, but we don't know we can use that oil.
Alright, you got your driver's license or ID? Your driver's license? Okay, so you're copy one. Delta 253 720 92 4471. Should go back to Randy Candido. Telephone? 786 2494. For the report. Okay, for your phone, we're copying one. 0255 980 85 9490. Should come back to Giselle Mendez. I keep telephone.
786 731 9950.
Okay. Future reference, you can't pour oil down the storm drain. It's an environmental problem.
Okay. So we can put that in there, right? Nothing?
No, not bedroom, no storm drain, container for oil, you change oil?
Yeah, but I don't put there.
Where's the container?
Oh, no. No, it's for what?
Okay, for your phone, I'm sorry, what's the serial number? Received. Oil just for this? For the water? Okay, and then you just dump what was in the pan? Where's the pan?
The pan is the container?
Container.
Okay.
Yeah. How much was in there?
Just water.
Okay. Alright. Okay.
No, it is. This is awesome. Perdón. He washed that on the rest of that. He put it.
Okay. He poured it?
No, water.
Yes.
That.
Okay, and then who dumped it? You or you? And down storm drain, no. Not down sink either. You have to get a container, pour it into container, okay? You can get them from all those stores, alright? Okay. Alright, do you guys have any questions? We received a call about, so. Okay. Alright, well, we got the call, I have to respond, okay? Alright, do you guys have any other questions? Alright. I was about to say, it's gonna be documented, okay? And then if I have any other questions, we'll reach back out, okay? Okay. Future reference, don't pour oil down the drain, okay? Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Es que ahí se ve agua. Es agua sucia.
Que se me botó de la misma cantidad. Esa agua que está ahí se me botó de las...
¿Tú no buscaste la cámara de nosotros?
Just a point of clarification before we go any further, the date on the body cam says August 2nd. Is that the date that of the response? The
Yes, ma'am.
violation? All right, any further questions?
And there's been no, so there hasn't been any levied fine or anything at this point, right?
Correct.
Okay.
All right, and for Officer Vetri, in the beginning and in the end, you showed close-ups of the drain, and there was a medallion on the drain. Was that medallion the medallion that says "Don't pour things down the drain"?
I honestly do not know. I don't recall if it said anything or not.
You know, you've seen that medallion though, some places. It's in the very beginning and in the very end. I think it's better in the very beginning.
En el drain hay una cosa de metal que dice que no puedes botar nada en el drain. Ahí a la derecha.
Right where you're on. Under your arm.
I've seen that picture. I'm sorry, I've never actually read it before.
It said, well, it's something like I can read waterway, so I think it says drains to waterway.
Oh. Yes, ma'am.
Up, see?
Yeah.
I think you can zoom in.
Es decir, hay que
I'm not that
hacer
guy,
todo
so.
dragway y después enjuagarlo para que toda esa agua corra para ahí. Es decir, echarlo en el dragway.
What about the little mouse rolly thing? Oh.
Good call.
It would just get blurry if you make it bigger.
Yeah, just for the record, there's a medallion on the drain, and
He could probably zoom in on that.
he's trying.
Yeah. Background sex art.
Yeah.
We have to do it for the case.
Yeah, probably.
Right
There.
Right there.
I think if you double click, it'll go in. No, not enough.
Well, anyway, for the record, I'm going to say there's a medallion on the drain, and it has a map, of the state, like a graphic of the state of Florida. I think that's supposed to be, and it says no something to waterway. Yeah, and for the record also, I live in Burnstorm Meadows, and I'm familiar with the drainage system there. The drains do drain into the swales that are in the streets. They don't drain directly to the canals. I think, no dump drains to waterway.
So it's posted.
So it's posted. Okay. Thank you for,
Good eyes.
Wonder if I can control it.
dumping, I know dumping drains to waterway.
Yeah, it's kind of blurry in there.
It's blurry. Yeah.
Yeah.
See waterway.
Okay. I'll hear a motion. Is there any more discussion? Does anybody else want to add anything?
I have a question. Everything around that whole area on the body cam, everything is dry except for there's a wet spot on your driveway. Do you remember what that was from?
¿De dónde vino esa agua?
Sí.
De la cantina. Cuando él venía se le botó ahí.
When they were cleaning in that section right there.
And that is agua sucia, no
And it's
oil.
dirty water from the lawnmower, is what they
Quizás
were
ese
trying to
aceite
say.
está
In the driveway.
Can
In
I
the
see?
driveway.
Oh, can I see one more time a picture with the pen in the.
Picture with the pan. Can we see that again?
It's pen, right? ¿Cómo se dice?
Yeah.
Sí, si era ahí mismo donde estaba el líquido. Okay.
Yeah, there is.
They wanted to see if that's the same place that is wet.
I think
And
you're
it
talking
is.
about the driveway, Mr. Michon, is that right?
Right.
Yes.
There's a
Yes.
wet spot on the driveway also.
Ma'am, may I interject? There does not appear to be a wet spot in the driveway at the time where the oil pan is tilted on the side,
Oh,
as
no?
Mr. Faulkner just pointed out.
Okay. Can you
Right.
show us the picture with the wet spot at the
No,
driveway?
porque la parte mojada creo que
When-
estaba más para allá. Mírala ahí.
When the officer was there.
When the officer was there.
It's up
I
top.
think it's one in here too.
There it is.
Cuando ella tiró la foto, eso no estaba mojado
There
ahí.
it is. Okay.
But what I was saying, ma'am, was the drip pan is tilted on its side prior to that wet spot.
I understand.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Yeah, there it is. Okay.
Y ella la tiró de allá para acá.
Escondió
I'll
otra
hear a
vez.
motion. Is there any more discussion? I'll entertain a motion for a prima facie case.
Bueno, en fin. No tenemos nada por ahí.
I'll move that the city has established a prima facie case.
Rich second.
Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposition? The motion carries. The board has found that the city has established a prima facie case. Is there anything further before going to the issue of penalty? Anything for any further discussion? I'll then entertain a motion on the issue
I
of penalty.
would just like to say a couple
Okay.
things, just as my thoughts on this
Okay.
whole thing.
Sure.
It's obvious there's oil on top of that drain. I'm not indicating that the whole pan was full of oil, but when the officer dipped his finger, it's obvious that that's not water. It could be water mixed with oil, but it's not water. The picture with the pan in place is consistent with the spot on the grate where the wet material was found by the officer. So those two things are consistent. The fact that it's posted no dumping, although I wouldn't have realized that, it is posted. So there is a posted warning of this is not acceptable. And then I guess there's no way of knowing the amount of residual that might have been in the pan, but it appears to me that oil went down that drain.
Some amount of
Some amount of oil.
Yes.
Que ellos creen que sí votaron así.
Any further discussion?
Sí, pero
Por
también
la
tengo.
foto
Hay
de
algo,
que cogió.
hay algo más. En esos días había una compañía de. No sé qué es lo que están haciendo, están esas banderitas ahí. Con maquinarias pesadas.
Sí, pero
abriendo
justo
huecos
pusiste
ahí.
la cosita
Bueno, pero
en el
imagínate.
mismo lugar donde está el
En el container no se ve que es aceite.
No se
es decir,
puede
no me
poner
pueden
nada
decir
ahí.
que es aceite porque no es.
He wants to let you guys know that a couple of days prior, there was construction workers out there working, putting up those flags. And they're thinking that they might have dropped some oil down that drain. And coincidentally, he put the container on top exactly where the oil was. This is what they're
Mi container no
they're
tenía
saying.
aceite.
He
If I
says
may,
that their containers did not have oil.
if I may state, that oil was fresh when I touched it. It wasn't dry from a couple days
Sí,
ago.
no le viste el dedo que se veía líquido.
Pero eso podía estar ahí.
hubiera estado seguro.
El aceite no se seca.
All right, I'll call for a motion.
Bueno, después no estaba ahí el aceite.
Mr. Lewis, what's the maximum for an irreparable violation?
Or the minimum.
Well, we know the minimum is nothing.
Or maybe a warning.
Okay,
The maximum is a $5,000 fine.
okay, thank you.
$5,000.
How much was that?
5,000.
Irretrievable or something.
Bueno, quería decirles que tengan en cuenta que somos obreros normales, clase media.
They did want to mention that they are middle class working
Y no creo que
residents,
podamos pagar esa
and they
máxima.
probably won't be able to pay $5,000.
It's not on the, we just want to know what the law says.
Ella quería saber lo que decía,
Thank you.
no,
Oh,
no
okay.
que te lo van a hacer.
All right. Okay?
Y también quería
Comment
que tengan en
before
cuenta
motion.
que somos como nuevos en su comunidad y que estamos como aprendiendo ahora las reglas.
They also wanted to let you guys know that they're new residents and they're new to the neighborhood and they did not know the rules.
So, and here we get into philosophy again. You know, the intent of this board is not to punish people for something that they've done. The intent of the board is to ensure compliance and make sure that people are in compliance with the code. And, you know, I don't have that medallion on the drain in my front yard, but I live in a different neighborhood, so we have the benefit of expertise being able to interpret that medallion. And I see people washing their cars and all kinds of things going down drains from construction crews and stuff. But anyhow, that's beside the point. I just think, again, the purpose is to ensure compliance and to make sure it doesn't happen again, and not to punish necessarily for past acts. And that's all I'm going to say.
Ellos no te quieren castigar.
All right.
Ellos lo que quieren es que ustedes sepan que ellos
Before we
no
go
se
to a
pueden.
motion, I would like to say thank you for coming today. We very much
Yes.
appreciate it. Thank you for providing the information. I think that was very helpful. You're in uniform, you're working today, so I suspect you're
After
taking
that,
time.
yeah.
You're taking time out of your workday to do this, and we appreciate that as well.
Gracias por venir.
So, all that being said, I'll entertain a motion.
I just need a minute to think if no one else does.
Okay, I'll give it a shot and you can do with it as you may.
All right.
Okay. I move that we find the respondents and/or responsible party irreparably violated Chapter 6A, Section 6A-1.6 Alpha Bravo of the Punta Gorda Code, and order that a fine in the amount of $25 be imposed on the respondents. Said fine must be paid within 30 days of the receipt of this order, and further order that the respondents are required to pay case costs incurred in the amount of $20.88 within 30 days of the receipt of this order. And it is further ordered that failure to comply with this order may cause the Code Enforcement Board to impose a fine of up to $250 per day plus applicable interest. And is that true in this case, or would you say a fine of up to $5,000? But, okay, I'll read the text or the script.
There's no
Okay.
fine.
There's no continuing.
There is no running fine.
There's no running fine
Yeah,
because
there's
it's a
no running fine,
one-time.
because this is a one-time.
It's only whatever
Right.
the board agrees to.
And the case costs, period.
And the case costs.
Case
Period.
costs, yeah,
Period.
the script is,
The script isn't right. Okay.
right.
All right.
Mushong seconds.
Is that a second? Is there any further discussion? All right.
I'm struggling with 25.
Yeah, I'll tell you very frankly, I'm struggling with 25 also. In favor of a small fine.
Yeah, so am
I would say that it's a one-time thing. These are new residents who may not have known the rules, and who alleged that it was not oil, but it was basically dirty water that went down the drain. On the other hand, there is evidence that it was in fact oil because there is residue. No one has specifically said this, but I'll put on the record that it is rainy season, So the fact that oil would be on there won't be on there for a long time in rainy season. It would probably wash off after the next rain. And the sign was specifically, the location was specifically posted as no dumping. It didn't say no dumping oil, it just said no dumping. So for those reasons, I would argue for a fine of more than $25. And yeah. And so let's take the first one to a vote, and then if it passes, it passes, and if it fails, we'll have another one. So all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye. Aye. Aye.
And how many ayes is it? Raise your hands because we need it for the record.
The ayes?
The ayes. Yeah, okay, there are 4 ayes, the motion passes. Then the board has found that the respondents irreparably violated Chapter 6, Section 6-A, Section 1.6 Alpha and Bravo of the Punta Gorda Code, and orders that a fine in the amount of $25 be imposed on the respondents, and said fine must be paid within 30 days, and further orders case costs in the amount of $20.88 within 30 days of receipt of the order. All right, and
decir,
El fine es
25
25 pesos y tienen que pagar 20 pesos con 88 centavos de costos de corte. So,
Okay, so we can pay here?
See, who do you see to pay?
That's the city clerk's office.
The city clerk's office.
Okay,
And
you give me the
Miss-
address or something?
Yes.
Yeah, well, she can tell. Yeah,
Ella me
Ms.
va a dar la
Faulkner can
información
let
para
you know the
hacerlo,
city
okay.
clerk's office.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, and do not do this again. Eat
No.
your water.
No. You see it?
Nothing.
Nada. No metan nada para
Nothing.
allá.
Ni pongas nada ahí ni nada.
Nothing down the
Aléjate
drain.
de eso. Ay, la voy a
Madam
poner
Chair,
una
could we get a couple
cerquita.
minutes to give them the information before we move on to the
All
next
right, let's
case?
go up. It's 10:30. Let's take a 5-minute break, please. Okay. Adjourn
Yeah?
for 5 minutes.
Sí, ya.
Ma'am, that concludes my
is hearing in case number 25-88045, Code Compliance Officer Meredith Ochtenberg, Respondent Marshall Adams, address violation 219 Lewis Circle, alleged violation, alleged chapter violated, Chapter 26, Section 8.11A, dirty roof, and I understand there's a motion from the city?
Yes, requested, Meredith Ackenberg, Co-Compliance Officer for the City of Punta Gorda, and I have been sworn. Request to dismiss. The property is in compliance.
Move to dismiss 2588045.
Second, Como.
Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? The motion carries. This matter is dismissed. Thank you, and thank you for helping bring the property into compliance. All right, the next matter is a hearing in case number 25-88132, Code Compliance Officer Frank Coppinger, Respondents Spike Holdings LLC, address violation 880 West Marion Avenue, Chapter alleged violation, Chapter 26, Section 8-11B, property maintenance windows, and I understand there is a motion from the city.
Yes, we need to make a motion for continuance due to this property after speaking with the council. The property is in receivership, and we have not served the receiver. So we need to, we just became aware of the information. And so we have to serve the receivership as per the attorney.
Right.
What's the date of our next meeting?
21 October. Do you think you can get them served by the 21st of October?
We still have to give them at least 30 days to come into compliance, so we wouldn't be able to get it on the October hearing.
All right, how about the November? That's the 26th, I think.
Rachel Berry, zoning supervisor for the record. We are attempting to not schedule anything right after Thanksgiving.
Okay.
If we need to call an emergency meeting, we can reach out and try to do that. But for due process, we do need to notify the new contact for the receivership.
Okay, what do you want to do here?
Well, it is turning into a problem because now we're looking at December. I think the December meeting was canceled, wasn't it?
No,
That was
it's
just
December
earlier.
19th.
19th. That's a long time away.
So if the code board would like for us to hold a meeting in November, we can bring them back in November.
Aren't we scheduled for one?
We're scheduled for one the day
We
before
are.
Thanksgiving.
Currently, yes. If there are no cases scheduled, then we would cancel the meeting.
Right, and I understand it's the day before Thanksgiving, and I understand it could be problems getting the quorum too.
I'm here.
Okay,
I'll be here.
I'm here. So,
I'll be here. Well, there's four.
This is another one of those properties. And it's another Larmore property. It's another one on Marion. One time a great street in our city, now littered with code compliance signs. But this is like a couple of others on that street that is just going to get drug out because you're dealing with that receivership again in one way or another. And anything we can do to expedite that process, I think would be time well spent.
I agree.
So you said November 26th? I'll make a motion, we continue this issue 25-88132 to the November 26th code board meeting.
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Okay, the motion carries. If we have a meet, we'll do this in November. We have to, yeah.
That's right.
Sorry.
We will plan on having it in November. We were discussing notice timelines and all of that. If there are any issues, we will let you know.
Do you have the contact information for the receiver?
We do.
All right, shouldn't be a problem then. Okay, the next item is a hearing in case number 25-88346, Code Compliance Officer Meredith Achtenberg, Respondents San Marcos GTN LLC, address of violation 1623 Red Wing Court, sections alleged to have been violated, Chapter 26, Section 1.4, no permit, Chapter 26, Section 1.5, no permit, Chapter 26, Section 1.10, no permit, and Chapter 9, Section 9-2H, tall grass and/or weeds. Is the respondent present? Is the respondent present? The respondent not being present, I will enter a plea of not guilty on behalf of the respondent.
Hopefully.
Ooh.
Where is this in court?
Meredith Achtenberg, Code Compliance Officer for the City of Punta Gorda, and I have been sworn. According to the Charlotte County Property Appraiser's records, the property located at 1623 Red Wing Court is within the city limits of the City of Punta Gorda, Florida, and the property is owned by the respondents. I am submitting 10 photos for the record. The pictures submitted for evidence are a true and accurate representation of the site at the time the pictures were taken. On July 8th, 2025, I inspected the property and found an unpermitted dumpster on the driveway of the property, which is a violation of the Punta Gorda Code, Chapter 26, Section 1.4, Chapter 26, Section 1.5, and Chapter 26, Section 1.10, and tall grass and/or weeds in excess of 12 inches in height throughout the property, which is a violation of the Punta Gorda Code, Chapter 9, Section 9-2H. On July 8th, 2025, a notice of violation and order for corrective action was sent to the respondents, ordering corrective action be taken and that the dumpster be permitted or properly removed and the tall grass and/or weeds be mowed, trimmed, and maintained within 10 days of receipt of the notice. On July 28th, 2025, I posted said notice of violation and order for corrective action on the property and at the City Hall Annex. On July 30th, 2025, the notice of violation and order for corrective action was returned undelivered. On August 14th, 2025, I re-inspected the property and found the violations had not been corrected and that the dumpster had not been permitted and remained on the driveway of the property, and the tall grass and/or weeds remained throughout the property. On August 14th, 2025, I posted said notice of hearing on the property and at the City Hall Annex. On August 15th, 2025, a notice of hearing was sent to the respondents via certified return receipt mail, which was returned undelivered on September 20th, 2025. On September 23rd, 2025, I re-inspected the property and found that the violations had not been corrected and that the dumpster has not been permitted and remained on the driveway of the property, and the tall grass and/or weeds remained throughout the property. I am submitting an invoice for case costs incurred in the amount of $28.82.
Any questions?
So the dumpster is all three of these no permit chapters?
That's correct.
Okay, it looks like they made an effort to mow it. It looks like hay that has been cut for baling and just left to dry. I don't see the cutting as a substantial improvement
No, not all of it was done.
And the work still needs to be done. I have a lot like this across from me, but anyway.
But your September inspection showed that all these issues still exist.
That's correct.
Well, obviously the place is not occupied and is being worked on.
And for sale. And it's
And
for
it's
sale.
for sale. All right.
I'll make a motion the city's establish a prima facie case.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? The motion carries. The board has found the city has established a prima facie case. Anything further for Ms. Achtenberg before we go to the penalty section? I'm
So-
assuming there's been no contact.
That's correct. There's no contact.
No communication.
No communication.
And where in Punta Gorda is this? I don't know the street.
It's off of Bar Harbor.
It's the New York section,
Ah,
or
okay.
the Italian section, I guess they call
The
Yeah.
Bird section.
Bird.
bird section.
it. No,
Oh, red one,
Yeah.
of course, the
Red
bird
one.
section.
no,
It's south of,
Yeah,
right there.
Yeah.
just before you get to Albatross.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
Of course, the left off.
That's where I live.
Coming from the Kia stop.
Yeah.
All right. Any comments before we go to a
Is
motion?
it my understanding you can't get a hold of the owner
That's correct. There's been no contact, no communication from the property owner.
and the house is vacant apparently,
I'm unsure. I do not know the
but
answer.
it's for sale? There's a for sale sign on there.
And you can see right through the
And you
windows.
can see
Yeah.
right through the windows. All right.
yeah, for sale sign.
These are always difficult to figure out a time frame that they won't even answer the
I mean,
correspondence.
Yeah, I mean, there's been no correspondence, there's been no communication.
Although there's no
The notice was
sale sign.
returned undelivered, this is
Currently.
a sale sign.
Okay.
You know, in future, when you bring these cases where there's been no notice where the notice has been returned undelivered and it appears that the property is unoccupied, it might be helpful if you did a little research and found what the tax status of the property is. Are the taxes being paid, and who is paying the taxes? Not that this is an element of the offense, but just that it's helpful for the board to know how to proceed.
One last question. So all they have to do is cut the grass properly and permit the dumpster to be in compliance, is that accurate?
That's correct, or remove the dumpster.
And if they were going to permit the dumpster, that would take a week? No question, that wasn't a statement.
Rachel Berry, zoning supervisor for the record. If they are just doing a permit that does not, if they're just doing a permit for the dumpster, that would not be tied to a building permit. 2 to 3 business days, depending on when they get that to our office, completeness of application. If it is a dumpster tied to a building permit, that could come with a couple extra days depending on plan review of the construction.
Thank you.
Madam Chairman, it appears from these pictures that that dumpster has been emptied at least one time. If you go back to July, it's full, and then I think there in August,
Good
it's
observation.
empty, and then
September, it's
then
full again.
September it's full again.
And for sale sign is in the dumpster.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the for sale sign's in the dumpster?
Back it up
Yes.
a bit.
Ah!
Right
Right
there.
there.
Oh, yeah, there it is. That's so funny. Okay.
So somebody's
Nick
obviously
Faulkner,
working on
code
it.
supervisor, and I've been sworn. Just checked the tax records. They are current.
They're current. Okay.
Ready for a motion?
I'm ready for a motion.
Rich, a motion? Like to make a motion, find the respondents have violated Chapter 26, Section 1.4, Chapter 26, Section 1.5, Chapter 26, Section 1.10, Chapter 9, Section 9-2 Hotel of the Punta Gorda Code, and issue a cease and desist order for any future violations of the said previously said codes, in order the respondent bring the property into compliance within 30 days of receipt of this order. Is further ordered, the respondents are required to pay case costs incurred in the amount of $28.82 within 30 days of receipt of this order. It is further ordered that failure to comply with this order may cause the Code Enforcement Board to impose a fine of up to $250 per day plus applicable interest.
Motion.
Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? The motion carries. The board has found the respondents violated Chapter 26, Section 1.4, Chapter 26, Section 1.5, Chapter 26, Section 1.10, and Chapter 9, Section 9-2H of the Punta Gorda Code, and issue a cease and desist order for any future violations of any of these sections, and orders that the respondents bring the property into compliance within 30 days of receipt of the order, and further order that the respondents are be required to pay case costs incurred in the amount of $28.82 within 30 days of receipt of the order, and further ordered that failure to comply with the order may cause the Code Enforcement Board to impose a fine of up to $250 per day plus applicable interest. If I could comment, we're giving them 30 days, and I think the chances are pretty good that we're not going to get any communication from these people. And so I would like to see this, since we're having a November meeting anyway.
Fire alarm?
I would hope it'd be louder if it's fire alarm. Something outside.
I don't see the fire alarm going.
It's not loud enough for a fire alarm.
That's a fire alarm, it's pretty weak.
Yeah, it'd be,
You'll get over that.
it's a burglar alarm. Somebody broke in.
Hearing loss. My high frequency hearing loss.
Did it fall out? Figure out
Yeah,
Okay,
no visible smoke.
there we go.
It's a meeting length alarm.
Okay, my point being, I think it's highly likely we're not going to get any communication, so I would like to see this on the agenda for November. And at that point, I'd like to discuss the idea of communicating with whichever party has been paying the taxes. But give them the opportunity first, and then be ready to go at it to the tax.
Maybe I'm under a misunderstanding. I thought that's who we did communicate with, the person at the tax, the people that are on the tax record.
It's the person that's on the, for the tax, that may not be the same party.
Okay.
And where are you sending the, I mean, are you sending it only to the address? And if the person who's paying the taxes has a different address, maybe we could send them the order to now?
We are required to send all notices and hearings to the property owner according to Charlotte County Property Appraiser's records.
Okay.
And in this case, it is a San Marcos GTM LLC in Addis, Louisiana.
And that's where you've been sending the notices to?
That's correct. As well as posting the letters on the
And-
property.
Right, right. And they have not responded to those?
That's correct.
Okay, well, let's revisit this in November.
Yeah.
Yes, this is another LLC, another building potential for getting strung out and something that begs for a way to sort of expedite and get their attention.
Well,
So,
$250 a day could do that.
yes, yes.
Yep.
Okay. All right, thank you. Is there anything further? No. All right, the next matter, hearing in case number 25-88418, Code Compliance Officer Meredith Achtenberg. Respondents Ronald and Michelle Stanton. Address of violation 450 Bell Harbor Boulevard. Alleged section violated, or section alleged to be violated. Chapter 9, Section 9-2D, outside storage, unlicensed vehicle. Is the respondent present? Is the respondent present? All right, the respondent not being present, I'll enter a plea of not guilty on behalf of the respondent. Officer Oxenberg. Or Officer Faulkner.
Meredith Achtenberg, Co-Compliance Officer for the City of Punta Gorda, and I have been sworn. According to the Charlotte County Property Appraiser's records, the property located at 450 Bell Harbor Boulevard is within the city limits of the City of Punta Gorda, Florida, and the property is owned by the respondents. I am submitting 14 photos for the record. The pictures submitted for evidence are a true and accurate representation of the site at the time the pictures were taken. On July 23, 2025, I inspected the property and found outside storage on the property, including but not limited to plastic containers, buckets, a sink, a ladder, and other miscellaneous items, which is a violation of the Punta Gorda Code, Chapter 9, Section 9-2A, and unlicensed vehicles that were being parked and or stored on the driveway of the property, which is a violation of the Punta Gorda Code, Chapter 9, Section 9-2D. On July 23, 2025, a notice of violation and order for corrective action was sent to the respondents, ordering corrective action be taken and that the outside storage be properly removed and the vehicles be properly registered or removed within 10 days of receipt of the notice. On August 4th, 2025, I posted said notice of violation and order for corrective action on the property and at the City Hall Annex. On August 6th, 2025, the notice of violation and order for corrective action was received by the respondents via certified mail. On August 15th, 2025, I re-inspected the property and found the violations had not been corrected and that the outside storage and unlicensed vehicles remained on the property. On August 18th, 2025, a notice of hearing was sent to the respondents via certified return receipt mail, which was returned undelivered on September 6th, 2025. On August 18th, 2025, I posted said notice of hearing on the property and at the City Hall Annex. On September 23rd, 2025, I re-inspected the property and found that the outside storage on the property, including but not limited to plastic containers, buckets, a sink, a ladder, and other miscellaneous items, had been removed from the property. However, the violation had not been corrected and that the unlicensed vehicles remained on the property. I am submitting an invoice for case costs incurred in the amount of $28.82. Thanks.
Any questions?
Questions, yes. Okay, I know we've been down this path before with unlicensed vehicles. Why wouldn't this also be a police matter? I mean, if they stop you on the highway and you've got an expired license plate, they're gonna write you a ticket. So it's parked in a driveway with an expired license, why can't they write them a ticket?
Nick Clark, Code Supervisor, have been sworn. It's on private property.
That's the reason? Okay.
Yep.
They're not being driven.
But
So the police department gets them when they're on the highway or the street.
Yes, yes.
And then we get them if they're on their private property. So in either case,
attach a tow truck to it.
As Rachel Berry just indicated to me, that is also not a moving violation.
I have a question about outside storage. So when is it acceptable to have outside storage? And the reason I'm asking it in that manner is if I'm working, repairing the inside of my house and I had to move things outside, if I had a permit for construction, would that make it okay to have outside storage?
It's not okay to have outside storage. If it's under a permit, I'm not sure what kind of permit that they would have to include outside storage. If somebody is telling us that they're gonna redo their garage floor and have outside storage for a couple of days and then move it back in, we have no problem with that.
That's my point.
As long as someone communicates with us what they're doing.
Got it. That was my question. Thank
Well,
you.
here we've got at least a month period where they've got the
Yeah.
bins and all that stuff.
I'm not trying to make an excuse for this. I'm just trying to understand. There would be instances where somebody might need to store stuff, but if they communicate that problem, they would be given the grace to deal with it as they needed to.
And getting your garage floor done is a perfect example.
They can
Stuff
also
like that.
obtain a no-charge permit to get a moving vehicle permit to store it in as, like a pod or a pack rat type container.
And I've seen that.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
I've done that.
So, just for clarification, the outside storage has been taken care of, but the vehicle storage, the unlicensed, unregistered vehicle, is it one or two that are still there?
That's correct. The outside storage has been removed. However, the unlicensed vehicles remain on the driveway of the property.
At least one of them is being driven around because the dark one seems to be getting moved from place to place.
And that was as of your September inspection.
As of September 23rd, that's correct. Both of the unlicensed vehicles are on the driveway of the
Yeah,
property.
that one's been moved.
Somebody's driving it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Make a motion, the city's established a prima facie case, Rich.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
The motion carries. The board has found the respondents violated Chapter 9, Section 9-2D of the Punta Gorda Code. Any other discussion? I'm assuming you've not discussed anything with them.
That's correct. There has been no communication with the property owner.
And it's apparent, just for the record, that somebody's living there because these vehicles are getting moved.
And they cleaned up the outside storage.
And they cleaned up the outside.
And if they parked the car in the garage, they'd be in compliance.
Well, they wouldn't be out of compliance, we just wouldn't know.
You just
about
wouldn't know it, yeah.
Okay, all right. I'll entertain a motion if there's no further.
Okay. We find that the respondents violated Chapter 9, Section 9-2 Delta of the Punta Gorda Code and issue a cease and desist order for any future violation in the Punta Gorda Code, Chapter 9, Section 9-2D of the Punta Gorda Code, and order that the respondents bring the property into compliance within 30 days of the receipt of this order. And it is further ordered that the respondents are required to pay case costs incurred in the amount of $28.82 within 30 days of the receipt of this order. And it is further ordered that failure to comply with this order may cause the Code Enforcement Board to impose a fine of up to $250 per day plus applicable interest.
Question on the motion. Could you repeat the amount for the cost? I didn't think you said it correctly.
$28.82.
Okay, you did, thank you. Okay. Rich, second.
Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? The motion carries. The board has found the respondents violated Chapter 9, Section 9-2 Delta of the Punta Gorda Code and issues a cease and desist order for any future violations of this code section and order the respondents to bring the property into compliance within 30 days of receipt of its order, and further order the respondents to pay case costs incurred in the amount of $28.82 within 30 days of receipt of its order, and further orders the failure to comply with the order may cause the board to impose a fine of up to $250 per day plus applicable interest.
Madam Chairman, before you move on, I just have a question, Nick. We addressed if that vehicle was in a garage, we would be ignorant of the violation of expired plates. What if it was backed into the driveway where you couldn't see the back? How long can a vehicle sit like that, or is there no restrictions on that?
Yeah, if it was backed, or Nick Faulkner, code supervisor, have been sworn. If it was backed in, we'd have no way of seeing the plate. As you know, Florida does not require front plates on vehicles, and our rights to inspect the property are very limited to
But you
just
could have
to
the
just
police
the right of
run
way.
the plate since you have the number to see if it had ever been re-registered, right?
We can't run plates.
Police can.
Police could, yes.
Can you ask the police?
Yeah, but if there's no front plate, how do you
If
know?
it's backed in, you're
If
not
it was
gonna-
backed in, yeah,
Right.
I'm just
Yeah.
saying in this case. you
Yeah.
can, you know.
I mean, if it's there for weeks and months and it gets dirty and covered with dust, there's nothing that, there's no code compliance, there's no violation there.
Dirty vehicle.
Dirty vehicle.
Might be in trouble.
We had one parked in the Y parking lot for almost 2 years with expired plates and everything. Just sat there, a white van full of hazmat.
Is curious, thank you.
All right, next item, unfinished business, hearing imposing penalty. Case number 25-88005, Code Compliance Officer Frank Coppinger. Respondents, 925 West Marion, 960 West Olympia, Florida, LLC. Address of violation 925 West Marion Avenue. Sections of code alleged to be violated. Chapter 26, Section 8-11A, Property Maintenance Dirty Roof. Chapter 26, Section 8-11B, Property Maintenance Structure. Chapter 26, Section 8-11E1, Landscape Dead Tree. And I understand there's a motion from the city.
Frank Coppinger, Code Compliance Officer, and I've been sworn. This is the same thing that we've been made aware by council, that this property is now in receivership, that we have not formally notified, and we need to continue.
Is this another lawnmower property?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have a personal level of extreme frustration here. This property's been in receivership for well over a year.
I was just made aware of it the other day by the council.
I
sir.
understand,
I
this
don't-
is another process issue.
But
you know.
this is the property that was made aware by our council, that's when we receive it.
All right. Be that as it may.
So when a property goes into receivership, do the tax records indicate that, or do they still indicate the original owner?
Tax record should originate, because the receiver is responsible for the property.
So then whoever the receiver is, they would have gotten the notice.
Well, has this property owner received notice on this one? What's the status of your notices?
They have been returned, and I've been posting it on the property. The company, the LLC of 925 West Marion, 960 West Olympia, comes back to a address of, I believe it's Phoenix, Arizona.
Yep.
Okay, and they've been returned undelivered, correct? The notices?
The majority of them, I do believe the last one was delivered.
Okay, all right, well, all right, let's,
So in the one that was delivered to what address? Arizona?
Arizona.
Okay.
and that is the proper receiver. We have the proper address for the receiver.
No, the receiver's somebody's completely different.
Okay, so you have a new receiver?
Yes, according to the council that just gave us the information 2 days ago.
Okay, that's part of the issue. They've been changing receivers.
Well, I guess I have a question for our attorney. So when we say it's in receivership, what does that mean? I mean, who's got the con? Who's liable? I need a little help here because we're talking about the owner. He's probably,
He's in
I think he's
jail.
in prison. We're talking about somebody in Arizona and now maybe a new one.
I'm not really a bankruptcy attorney, so I don't really know that to give a full answer. But so as far as the extent I know, because it's in a receivership, it's that because property is under litigation or bankruptcy, it's now being taken over by a third party in order to receive funds provided to essentially debtors and onto the property in order to manage it.
What we're hearing from Frank is there may be a fourth party, a different receiver. Is that what I heard you say earlier? Or is it still somebody in Arizona or something in Arizona?
No, the company, the LLC based in Arizona is what is on the record, the GIS record that we have to go by.
Okay.
On Monday, we were notified because our council is dealing with a lot of properties owned by the same individual under different LLCs, that most of them have come under receivership. And what he advised us is because of that knowledge, now that we know who the receiver is, we have to contact them to give them the same amount of time as the property owner, the same notification.
Wow, pretty convoluted.
That was his
But not to start an argument.
I'm not arguing with
This
you. I'm
has
on
been
your
going
side.
on
I'm with you.
forever, and the receiver has been there forever. And other properties included in it were the old Impact University, 751 Retta, and they're all, and Fisherman's Village. And they were initially held by two different receivers. Impact was held by one, Fisherman's Village, and the other properties were held by another. And we've had this issue with a number of properties before you came here. You know, we've been trying to contact them, and at points in time, we were able to contact local entities who were able to contact, you know, receivers, but the goalposts keep moving. And now the council's sort of gotten involved, and they've got Regions Bank involved, and Regions Bank is now handling 751, you know, in addition to, you know, the receivers, the receivership. But we're just continuing to slide down the road, and the, you know, proliferation of code signs in Larimore front yards is just, you know, continuing. And I know it's not y'all's fault. This is a systemic problem.
And I think City Council is working toward getting these properties foreclosed on.
They are.
They are.
But they've got to, yeah.
When you're ready for a motion.
I'm ready for a motion.
Rich, motion that we continue 25-88005 to the November 26th meeting.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposition?
Nope.
Okay. All right, the motion carries. This matter is continued to the November board meeting, November 26th board meeting. All right, that concludes the cases. Are there any comments from the staff today?
I have a question.
Good afternoon. I'll try to make this quick in between the alarm soundings. I just wanted to let the board know that we had an issue earlier where there was some confusion about whether or not there needed to be a prima facie finding made for a penalty hearing. I did want to let the board know that I'm aware you all have been trained that is not required. It doesn't say anything in Chapter 162 specifically or in our Chapter 9A Code of Ordinances about a prima facie finding. That training material was prepared and reviewed by a previous city attorney and is always subject to legal review. So I wanted to let the board know that we'll be reviewing that with Mr. Lewis, and if there does need to be an update made to that training and that procedure, we will bring that to you at the November meeting. So I just wanted to address that on the record.
And that's just relating to the irreversible.
No, that's related to repeat violations or hearings imposing penalty. That traditionally you've been trained that there was no need for a prima facie finding, but like I said, we'll address that with Mr. Lewis, and if we need to revise that procedure, we will let you know at the November meeting. But I wanted to let you know that we're aware of that discrepancy and we'll get it addressed. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, member comments.
Yeah, I had a question, and I'm not sure who could even help me, but attending the city council meeting where they talked about the board, and they talked about replacing the board with a magistrate. Is there a problem that we're solving, or?
Rachel Berry, zoning official for the record. So no, there's no problem. We don't want to get rid of you guys. We appreciate everything that you guys do for the city. Council asked staff what options may be out there. Should we do something different? Should we keep things the same? And so we just offered some examples. Other jurisdictions, some use magistrates, some use code boards, and so we just mentioned that, and we have not brought forward to council any official numbers or costs or anything of that nature, so.
Okay, thank you. And then it was brought to our attention that when we're doing a irreversible penalty, there is a reason to have the, if you don't do this, then it can be up to $250 a day, and that's if they don't pay the irreversible fine that's been judged.
Yeah.
Then from that day forward, they would pay the up to $250 a day penalty.
Okay, and this goes back to our issue from last month then. So if they don't pay the penalty by the 30th day, on the 31st day, they would then automatically start, no, on the 31st day, they would be liable for another fine.
Yes.
But that would require another board action for
Correct.
non-payment of the penalty.
Yes.
Correct.
But that's the reason why that's, because
Yeah.
we originally said, we don't need this, and I didn't think we did, but I was corrected.
Okay.
Right.
So I have another question then about the proliferation of of code signs. The beach down here, once known as the Hurricane Charlie's and the Waterfront Hotel, the parking lot covered in sand. Is there any comment, is that still in works? Is that waiting on somebody to build a hotel, or is it just gonna be another indefinite, is that moving?
Nick Faulkner, code supervisor. I've been sworn. I've been in contact with the attorney for that property, so they have agreed to sod the property to satisfy the city's code and ordinances regarding to sodding the property. However, we're in talks with Public Works and City Manager. We're supposed to have a meeting at some point to discuss further action regarding the further demolition of the infrastructure that's underneath the ground. That's seems to be a lot more costly than just putting sod over top. So I did just post a notice of hearing on the property that should I can't think of when it's coming to you guys. Yes. Yeah, that should be coming. It should be coming either next month or November. So it'll be back in front of you. City or the attorney for the property. He should be in attendance. So it's moving forward, but at a slower pace than what everyone would like.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
What property is that?
The
old
Hurricane Charlie Hotel.
Oh.
There were a couple of pickup trucks on that property yesterday morning, way out by the water on the corner. Yeah.
I've also
Probably fishermen.
No, there was two trucks and a piece of equipment.
also instructed
still
the
working on-
property owners to kind of trim the grass and clean up any debris that's on the property as well. So.
Thanks, Nick. Hey, Nick, I got one more question for you. The property at Tropicana, as soon as you go, it's kind of diagonal from the Isles Yacht Club, that property is in extreme disrepair. And is there anything going on there?
I'm sorry, I don't recollect which property that is.
That's 17,
That's not Tropicana.
yeah, it's that two-story condo.
Yeah.
Yeah, that old two-story condo, 1700 something, Jamaica Way.
Jamaica Way?
That's
Oh,
what you
yeah.
turn as soon as
Yeah,
you...
we have an open case on that.
Okay.
Is that supposed to be demolished? Rachel, I'm sorry.
That's okay. Rachel Berry, zoning official for the record. So we actually just recently spoke to, or I recently spoke to an attorney who is representing a potential buyer of the property. They are interested in demolishing the structure. There will be a process to do that because it is individually listed on the National Historic Register.
Oh.
So they.
That property is on the historical register?
Correct. It was built. It was built quite a long time ago. So yes, 1710 Jamaica Way is individually, that building itself is listed on the National Register. Or the buildings.
Is it still owned by individual owners then?
The units, yes.
Oh, Jesus.
Okay.
So they are looking to demolish it and potentially redevelop the property, but to demolish it, they'll have to go through the historic board and get a certificate of appropriateness.
The year 2592.
Yes, we won't be here when that happens.
All right, is there anything else?
Great location.
I think that's enough.
Motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn? I don't think I need a motion. Okay, all right, I hear a second.
Second.
All right, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries, we are adjourned. Next meeting, October 21st. Thank you.